Inside the RAF cockpits, adrenaline is running high. They know the rules: intercept, identify, and escort. But don't provoke. Still, all it takes is one wrong move, and this routine mission becomes international headlines. In the skies over Eastern Europe, a silent war is being fought. It is a conflict of sensors, signals, and nerves played out at 20 feet. Here, the line between international and sovereign airspace is a trigger, and every unauthorized crossing is a test. On a recent morning, that line was deliberately crossed, forcing NATO to respond in minutes, sending 2 British fighter jets to intercept a Russian spy plane that had gone too far. This is the story of that high-stakes aerial chess game. At 1050 a.m., radar screens at NATO's Air Command Center in Poland lit up. An unidentified aircraft flying low and slow over the Baltic Sea had just crossed the invisible line into Polish airspace. This was not a minor infraction, not a simple skim of the border. This aircraft was 2 full kilometers deep inside NATO territory. Within seconds, a red alert was issued. The order was clear scramble. At Malbork Air Base, engines roared to life. 2 Royal Air Force Eurofighter Typhoons, stationed in Poland as part of NATO's air policing mission, were airborne in minutes. This was not another patrol. This was a direct response to a breach. The target was a Russian IL-20 MA-4 engine surveillance plane. It flew steadily, silently, making no attempt to communicate or respond to radio hails. To an untrained eye, it might look like a lost cargo plane, but there was no mistake. The IL-20 is not an aircraft that gets lost. It is a flying intelligence gathering platform packed with high-resolution cameras, signal sniffers, and advanced radar systems. Its job is to listen, and this time it had chosen to listen from inside its rival's house. This incident was part of a tightening pattern. In the weeks prior, British Typhoons had been scrambled multiple times for Russian aircraft creeping too close. But this time was different. It wasn't too close. It was inside. The flight had likely originated from Kaliningrad, Russia's heavily fortified territory, nestled between Poland and Lithuania, a spy nest on the Baltic Sea. The skies over the region have been tense since 2022. NATO has boosted its patrols and hardened its radar coverage. They knew the IL-20 was coming. But as it continued deeper, ignoring all calls, the pilots in the approaching Typhoons faced a critical question: was this an unarmed probe, or was it bait for something much bigger? At 1057 a.m., the 2 RAF Typhoons sliced through the sky. The Eurofighter Typhoon is NATO's premier air superiority fighter. With twin engines and a top speed of Mach 2, it is designed for both raw power and precision. But this mission was not about a dogfight. It was about control. Using their advanced PIRATE infrared search and track systems, the pilots could lock onto the intruder without even activating their own powerful radar, a stealthy approach to a delicate situation. The Intercept unfolded like a well-rehearsed high-altitude chess game. The Typhoons approached the IL-20, confirming its identity visually. They flew alongside, a clear and unmistakable signal: "We see you. We are here." The rules of engagement are strict. Intercepting is the first step. Firing is the absolute last resort. The job is to escort the intruder out, not to start a war. For nearly 10 minutes, the Russian plane held its course, continuing to fly within Polish airspace. It soaked up everything it could: radar, signals, air defense frequencies, and even the flight patterns of the intercepting Typhoons. It was a calculated move. Then, just as deliberately as it had entered, the IL-20 made a turn. There was no warning, no communication. Just a wide controlled bank northward back towards international airspace. It was not a panicked retreat. The incursion was timed perfectly, lasting just long enough to ensure NATO's reaction was fully deployed and observed. It was as if someone in a control room in Kaliningrad had just checked a box on a list confirming NATO's QR. A response time from Malbork is 6 minutes. But the mission was not over. As the IL-20 exited Polish airspace, it did not head straight home. Instead, it began a slow, deliberate loop just outside the border. Legally, it was now in international airspace. Tactically, it was still a provocative presence. The RAF jets stayed with it, no longer intercepting, but shadowing. The silent pressure continued. Back at NATO Air Command, analysts were already piecing together the data. To military strategists, this was a calibrated test. These flybys are often paired with other activities like cyber probing or naval movements as part of a coordinated, layered strategy to gauge an adversary's defenses. The value for Russia was not in the 2 kilometers of airspace it violated, but in the detailed picture of NATO's response it captured. This time, the IL-20 turned back. But these encounters are a constant gamble on restraint and professionalism. A single miscalculation, a single misinterpreted maneuver could instantly turn this cold chess match into a hot conflict. As the Polish military later stated, this was a provocative action designed to test NATO's readiness. When the IL-20 finally set a course away from the border, the RAF Typhoons peeled off, their mission complete. But for NATO, the work was just beginning. The incident would be analyzed, protocols would be reviewed, and readiness would be adjusted. The flight of this single spy plane served as a stark reminder that in the tense standoff between Russia and NATO, there are no quiet skies. And in a world of armed aircraft and silent radios, the phrase "next time" is the most dangerous of all.